Well, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump has the Jewish community's back. During a press gaggle today, Leavitt said the president isn't going to let anyone take part in violent attacks of terrorism in the country. This comes after 8 people were injured after a man shouting "Free Palestine" was trying to set pro-Israel demonstrators on fire in Boulder, Colorado. Leavitt says that Trump White House has done more than any administration to curb this violence and illegal immigration.
We secured our border in record time, but we're also tightening up our visa process and our legal immigration process. And we know that this individual, this terrorist, was allowed into this country by the previous administration, was foolishly given a tourism visa, and then was illegally allowed to stay. These individuals are going to be deported, and we're not going to tolerate such violence in our country.
Now, Leavitt says the DHS is working overtime to assert and deport as many illegal criminals and terrorists from the U.S. And to talk more about this, I want to bring in Florida Congressman Jimmy Petronis, who is committed to combating anti-Semitism. He joins us live now. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. President Trump, the administration taking this seriously, saying this will not be tolerated. Where do we go from here? It feels like it's only getting worse. This is not about pro-Israel. These were Americans who were protesting, and this was about them being Jewish.
It's so horrible. I mean, when I first read about it, I didn't believe it. To think how there can be so much bottled up hate that somebody would come after another human being in that way, and of all places in Boulder, Colorado. So to me, there's not a jail good enough for these son of a guns. I look forward to seeing the maximum enforcement of the law as a terrorism and a hate crime. But to think that there's so much anger to want to do that to another human being just baffles me. I appreciate the president's strong approach about getting our borders under control.
Yeah, Congressman, you have a longstanding commitment to Holocaust survivors. One of the victims in the Boulder attack is a Holocaust survivor. I mean, what a time to be alive.
You know, and you think about the snapshot of reality that individual has dealt with in order to be able to live in the United States, and then to have that much just anger to want to make a difference. I'm so fed up with what we have seen by the violent protests that we have seen since that fateful day in Israel. But, you know, again, this would not be happening if we had a secure border. This individual was here past his time of being legally. And this is just more and more that we're going to see uncovered because of the failed policies of the Biden administration over the last 4 years.
Congressman, I got to ask you, your colleague, Congressman Fine, came out saying it's time to designate organizations like CARE, terrorist organizations. What do you make of it? It says it's time for all Palestinian organizations to be federally designated terror organizations, including CARE and Students for Justice in Palestine. About 3 hours ago, Elise Stefanik said the same thing about CARE.
You know, again, these groups have unfortunately probably started off with good intentions, and they have been perverted into organizations that are channeling and communicating the hate to create these opportunities. So I say, you know what, let's look up under the hood of all of them. Let's go out and double check and ensure that they're not doing things that they claim they're probably not to do. But look, I don't blame Elise or Randy for saying that. These are citizens of the United States that are being targeted by extremists. You know, this country, in my opinion, has no room for extremists.
Yeah. You know, for months we've been hearing, you know, nonstop chants, you know, Free Palestine, globalize the Intifada. Globalize the Intifada, that's a dangerous one. Many in the Jewish community will say, well, here is your Intifada.
That's right. That's right. And look, Randy is a dear friend, and, you know, his emotions run on the outside of his sleeve with this. But, you know, it's all of us. You know, the state of Florida, we pride our relationship with the nation of Israel, our single biggest, strongest ally in the Middle East. So when we see this type of hate spew, especially from those loss of life that happened over a year ago, you know, there is going to be a fight to push back. But the extremists that have come out of these groups that have been pro-Palestinian, I'm sorry, it's not acceptable, it's not warranted, and you're not welcome.
Yeah, you will not free Palestine by injuring Jews and Jewish allies or killing the Jewish people. Makes no sense. Congressman Petronis, thank you for being an ally.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.